Welcome to the Heal Your Hunger Show, where we get to the heart of why you overeat and how to stop. If you struggle with food and weight like I did, welcome home.
Welcome everybody to the Heal Your Hunger Show. So happy to have you here. It is a great day to be alive, and it's a really good day to be listening to the Heal Your Hunger Show because today is show 300. Oh my gosh, show 300, episode 300. This is really big stuff. And if you're somebody who's been tuning in for a while, thank you. Thank you for supporting the Heal Your Hunger Show. Thank you for leaving a review on iTunes or wherever else you listen. Thanks for tuning in and being loyal and maybe telling somebody else about it. Thank you for all of that. And thank you for purchasing my book if it's led you to my book or the book led you here, whatever the case may be. And thank you, of course, to my clients who are so amazing, so loyal, and so inspirational. Oh my goodness. In fact, I have one of those inspirational clients here today to mark this important day of recording the episode 300. Before I introduce this amazing woman, I want to just tell you, if you're actually new to the Heal Your Hunger Show, welcome. You have just landed on a beautiful, amazing experience of going deeper and forgetting all the diets and all the crazy things you've done to try to lose weight. Because guess what? They don't work. That's not news to you, but I will show you something that will. Okay, so this is a really wonderful place to be if you're just sick of all that. If you want to get off the diet roller coaster ride, if you want to try a new tack of really losing weight and keeping it off, overcoming your obsession with food and weight, stopping the shame cycle of binging and feeling bad and beating yourself up and then binging again because you're like so in the hole. I've done all of it. I was 50 pounds overweight. I struggled miserably with my weight, and I have found a solution by the grace of God. And it was a long time ago. And then I spent literally my entire adult life helping others find a solution. And that has led me to Heal Your Hunger and the Heal Your Hunger Show and my book called Heal Your Hunger and the amazing transformations so many women have had through this program. So you're in the right place if you're ready for transformation, if you're ready to really just move beyond your struggles and finally live in freedom. How does that sound? It sounds great to me, and I'm excited for you because it probably sounds good to you too. Now, if you have not joined us in the Secret Sauce group, please do. The Secret Sauce group is where you can join on Facebook for free and just be a part of the conversation, be a part of, just learning about this new way of living and hearing some cool interviews with me and guests, and also my little rants that I do so about healing from this terrible condition. So definitely join us by going to Facebook, typing in the secret sauce to end emotional eating, ask to join. And also, if you have not yet taken the quiz is on my website, healyourhunger.com, and it's free. Probably takes you 3 minutes tops, but you'll get a personalized score to find out whether you're an emotional eater or a food addict or somewhere in between. So definitely take that quiz, get your personalized score, and then you'll know. Because sometimes people are like, I struggle with food and weight, but I'm not an emotional eater, because they think that they have to have these wild binges in order to be an emotional eater. And that's not necessarily true. Sometimes it's just the choices you make and the foods that you eat. If you tend to eat potatoes instead of broccoli, or if you like bananas instead of apples, or berries, chances are you're gravitating towards those heavier, richer foods, more starchy foods for emotional eaters, emotional reasons as well. So it's not necessarily somebody who binges who's an emotional eater. It could be somebody who just eats too much or obsesses about food and is stick thin. I mean, we come in all different shapes and sizes. So definitely take that quiz. Okay, on with the show, episode 300. I'm so excited. This means the world to me. And I want to just tell you that this has been, of course, doing a podcast is a labor of love. It's not a money-making venture. It costs money to produce this, but at the same time, it's such gratifying work because I get to share what's worked for me, and I get to highlight other people who have an important message to carry. So it's been wonderful, and I am going to keep on putting out the shows, 1 or 2 a week for as long as I have it in me, which hopefully is a long, long time. So thanks again for listening. Now, speaking of inspiration, I want to introduce you to one of my clients who has been so inspirational in the changes that have happened for her. And I love this woman. She's amazing. She's even coming on board to be a part of our company because she's so enthusiastic about the work, and she's had such an amazing transformation, and she wants to give back. So that is very exciting for Heal Your Hunger. Andy, I want to say hello and introduce you to everybody.
Hi. Nice to be here, Tricia.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So Andy, I'm so happy to have you here. And can you talk a little bit first about, so that people relate and know that, you get it. And sometimes they'll relate more to you than they will to me, just because I've been on this journey for so long. So talk to us about your own, really your struggles with food, which I know go way, way back.
Yes, they do. I started having eating issues, I would say back in middle school. That's when I started dieting and taking diet medications that made you all jittery and, would make you lose your appetite. I started counting calories. I started having just really poor body image issues. And I tried a million diets. I mean, I started in middle school, did it in high school. When I was a freshman in college, I was afraid of gaining the freshman 15. So I starved myself, and I was eating 400 calories a day. And I was isolating. I wasn't going out with my friends. I was just really focused on wanting to be thin, and I couldn't be thin enough. So that was difficult. And then I was able to get through that. But as I continued as an adult, I suffered with bulimia, and I just hated myself. I hated myself. My self-esteem could not have been any worse. It was just so low. And I lived a life that looked really good from the outside. Nobody knew what was going on inside my head. Nobody knew that I was constantly having these obsessive food thoughts and these obsessive body weight image thoughts. And it was really hard, and yeah, so that was
that was a lot of years. So how many years would you say you struggled with food and weight?
I would say I'm now 55, and I started in middle school, and I found it about a year ago. So that's how long I've struggled.
Wow. Yeah. And I think that's really, that's very customary, because I talk to women every single day who are, quote, middle-aged and, 50s and 60s, who have literally been doing this for 40 years, 40 years plus. And, the problem is, and they're so discouraged, and they feel like there's never going to be any hope. But that's because if they're continuing on the diet roller coaster ride, there is no hope. I mean, they're right. There is no hope. So long as you're attacking the symptom, it's going to be the same results. And unfortunately, that diet roller coaster ride never ends, because there's always a new diet. Now there's keto and intermittent fasting, which have great science behind it for longevity results and all this kind of thing. But as emotional eaters, we tend to use these things as another diet hack. And so we always end up in the same place, which is overeating again and sabotaging our results. So it is a long, long journey unless we take a serious, detour on a different track. So yeah, it's 40 plus years. I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right, Tricia. I think I've been on every diet. Weight Watchers probably 4 times. I don't even know how many times. Overeaters Anonymous. South Beach. ice cream diet. I literally have tried it all. And each time my self-esteem would get knocked down a peg every time, because I would do it. I'd be focused on it. I would lose weight, and then I'd, go back to my daily living, and I'd be stressed, and then I would eat and binge eat. And it made me feel like not only was I out of control, but I didn't have any control over it. I didn't have any hope. And I was in therapy from that point of, when I was a freshman in college. That's when I started therapy. And I was in and out of different eating disorder programs. And it has been a long time. And before I listened to you and your podcast, before I found you, I had given up hope. I did. I did not think there was a way out of this.
Wow, that's incredible. And I love having you on my episode 300, because you have listened literally to all 300 or 299 shows.
Basically, yes, I have. And each one nourishes me. I really found that since I found you, I listen to you when I'm in the kitchen. I listen to you in the car. I love the people that you interview and the different perspectives, and also what they bring and add to your program. And I just love it. And it makes me feel calm, and it makes me, it really helped me feel hopeful the whole time.
Beautiful. So why don't you bring us up to, a year ago when you did join us, and how your life has changed?
Okay. Well, when I first signed up, I believed you that there was freedom at the other end of this. There was a light at the end of the tunnel, but I didn't know if I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a lot of fear that I was going to fail again. Kind of thing, like this was just another program.
Right.
But I have to say, and I'm not exaggerating, it has been life-changing for me. I went from the place of horror I just told you about to where I am today, which is, I feel light, not even physically, but physically and emotionally. I got that monkey off my back. My relationships have improved. My most difficult relationships have improved, with my husband, with my mom. And, and my husband, he's noticed a huge difference. And, he says it, he doesn't know about the program so much. He knows I'm in it, but he doesn't know about the program. And all he knows is that I'm much nicer to be around. I'm much more engaged, because in the past, when we're eating dinner, I'm thinking about what am I eating, what I shouldn't be eating, what he has on his plate. Is my portion bigger or smaller? I mean, and I'm not present, because I'm not listening, and I'm not present. So that alone has changed our relationship.
Oh, that's really beautiful. And it's so true. I just remember when I would be in, the food, how I couldn't be with the people I was around. Like my head was in a whole nother place. And, I was so much of the time, I just wished I could get away from everybody so I could eat, or they would leave the house so I could eat, or go to bed so I could eat, because food was my constant obsession. So I totally can see how your relationship with your husband can change based on that changing.
Yeah. And I also used to, isolate myself a lot, because I would either go down to the kitchen, get stuff to eat, and go up to my room and eat it. I was embarrassed what I was eating.
Mm-hmm.
And, he never judged me. He doesn't think there's anything wrong with how I eat. He just didn't understand the emotional torment I was putting myself through, because again, it's like, you don't see it. When you look at somebody, you don't see what's going on in their head. You just see them at face value, and, it's just not how it is.
Yeah, I talk to so many women, who have such loving husbands who accept them exactly the way they are, no matter what way they are, or no matter what they eat. But it doesn't really matter because we don't accept ourselves, and we have to live with ourselves 24/7 in our minds, hearing our terrible thoughts. And of course, it does also rub off on our spouses, because when we're hating on ourselves, we're snippy, we're snappy, we're bitchy, to people around us, because we're just miserable. And it's so hard to have a good positive outlook, or to be up and loving when we're feeling so down and bad.
Absolutely. It's like you just, my husband has always said that I'm so much harder on myself than he could ever be on me, but he's the one I get mad at. So it's just kind of like I'm always in my head. And it was like I was, it was like a little tap would push me over the edge, and I'd get really upset and really sad. And it's like I try so hard, and I go right into that mode. And now I find through the program, I've learned tools in order to feed myself in a much healthier way. And, in an emotional way that fills me up and feeds my soul. And the better I feel about myself, that definitely overflows to the people around me and the people I care about. And that's how it's tremendously changed my relationships. And I'm not even talking about a little bit. I'm talking about I'm in a whole other place, and it hasn't been that long, Plus I have the tools to continue, for the rest of my life. So, yeah.
So beautiful, Andy. Can you give a couple examples of how you're different now than you were?
Okay, so I'm much more grounded. I've learned to meditate and be able to sit with myself. I don't get as overwhelmed by feelings. I'm not as consumed by them. I know that I can handle them, and I know that I can deal with whatever's going to come my way. Let go of a lot of resentments, ones I didn't know I had. And I've challenged a lot of the stories that I was brought up with, things that I took on as my own. When I really got to look, through like journaling and really being able to find a way to access that part of me that has been so hurt for so long, and unpack it. It just has made a huge difference in me. And I guess that's where the lightness has come from, plus I have a connection with God, and that I never had. I'm not somebody who has ever identified with a religion, so to speak. And I never thought I would have a connection, and I have my own connection and my own God. So it's not like, all of a sudden I'm, praying on an altar or something. It's just when I'm out in nature, I appreciate it. And I can speak to him, through that. Mostly that was my connection. And just knowing that it's not all in my control, and to be able to let it go and give it up, that has made a huge difference.
Beautiful. And I think you're speaking to one of the big, primary emotional eating or eater traits, which is control, because we love control. We emotional eaters. We don't want to look like we're control freaks, but so often we are. And that just comes from fear, right?
Absolutely. And I think what happened is, like, when I was younger, I was trying to, I guess, control my environment because it was not a comfortable environment. And the way I controlled it was through food and through trying to control my intake and just having the distraction of always thinking about it, so, it's just, when I recognize one other thing was interesting that I found out is I wasn't just controlling myself. I really was trying to control other people, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't realize it because I thought I'm just controlling my environment, but there were other people there. Go figure. Yeah, so that is another reason why it's improved my relationships, because I let, people have their own way, and I can decide whether I want to take it on or not, take on their stuff, but I'm not trying to give them all my stuff.
Love it. So, so true. It's, boy, we're so much better to be around when we're not making other people's stuff our business, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. Well, you're such a shining example of this, Andy, and it's just so beautiful to see what's happened to you and your relationships, your relationship with food, and just the way you live your life. Because I know anxiety was a big thing for you also.
Absolutely. Anxiety and depression, both of those things. And how can it not be when you're focused on things other than, dealing with your emotions at the moment, everything just gets stuffed down, and, that's depression, it's just, so through your program, I've been able to unpack so much of that. And yeah, I'm so much happier. My self-esteem is so much better. I feel so much more confident than I ever thought possible. And I feel like, I'm excited about life. There's things I want to do, and it's just a really, I'm enjoying life. I found the joy in life that I didn't think I had inside me. And the freedom, which I never thought I would ever have.
So sweet, Annie. God bless you. I'm just so happy for you. It's really, and you did the work. You did the work, and you jumped in with both feet. And that's such a beautiful thing to see as well. When we say yes to ourselves, we invest in ourselves, and then we go at it, a full force, not holding back. And you've listened to every single podcast, and the work, the through the program, you've gone through the modules many times, and you're always on our group calls, and you're always so helpful to other people, and offering to support, or if somebody's got tech challenges, you're always jumping in to say, I can help you with that. And that attitude, that beautiful attitude of being helpful to other people too, has really, you've just shined, and you've been a blessing to all of us in the program. So thank you for that. And thanks for coming on the show and being willing to share what's gone on for you so candidly. I know it'll be inspirational to so many.
Yeah, well, Tricia, I can't thank you enough, because your program has changed my life, and it works. It is a comprehensive way to go from point A to point B. It's not like, it's not like just out there woo woo, like, a concept. It's actual tools and a way to heal. It's just a direct, concrete way to break free. And I can't thank you enough.
Oh, thank you, Andy. Thanks so much. Yep, it's worked for me, and it's worked for you, and it works for anybody who will do it. So
I have seen through this program, I have seen so many people get the same freedom I have. I've watched them grow. I've seen their journeys, and I've seen them come out on the other side. So I'm not an unusual suspect here. I am part of why your program works.
So sweet. Thank you, Andy. And if anybody's curious and they want to know how they can do this, and be a part of the program, you can have what we call an emotional eating breakthrough session, where we talk to you about your, what's gone on for you, what your relationship with food is, what your history is, and we'll learn about you and talk to you. And if it seems like you might be a good fit for our program, we're happy to, lay that out for you and see what what the next steps might be. But it's not always a fit for everybody. So we want to determine that through the emotional eating breakthrough session. What's cool about having that conversation with us is that you'll have a breakthrough. Like whether you become part of the program or not, you'll see more about what's gone on for you and what the real issues are, because it's never about the food. So the more you realize that, the better off you'll be. So you can actually go to healyourhunger.com/apply to apply for a complimentary breakthrough session. healyourhunger.com/apply. So Andy, thanks so much. It's been such a pleasure to have you. You look like a mermaid and you have this beautiful glow with your long, flowy blonde hair. So thank you so much for your beautiful spirit and for being here on the show on episode 300. And thank you. Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And please, if you haven't left a review, please do that. It's it maybe take you 5 minutes, but it could make a world of difference to somebody who reads your review and decides to listen to the show. It might be just what they need in order to start their healing journey. So thanks again. We'll see you on the next show. Take care.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to get free support, insider health info, exclusive invites to events, and more, visit healyourhunger.com.